Hey, welcome back to Peace in the Mix with me, Portia Payton. I'm so happy that you are here. I'm happy to be here. We're just gonna get right into this. Sidebar, I know I was out last week. I had family coming to town. I just needed to be present. It was a lot going on, but I am here. And I was watching playback on my previous video and I was like, ooh, there's a few things that I wanna elaborate on. So that's just what this video is gonna be about. If you didn't catch the last video, please go watch it. I'll link it at the end. It was, you have nothing to prove, embrace who you are. So if you are here for a good time, please give this video a thumbs up and let's just get right into this, okay? So the first thing, when I said don't let anyone get in your mind about you, don't let anybody negatively influence you about yourself. The reason I say that is because if you know that you are genuinely doing your best and your intentions really are pure, like you're not out here intentionally causing physical harm to anyone, you're not intentionally out here trying to hurt people, then please don't allow anyone to negatively influence you. And this is not to avoid accountability, okay? That's not what I'm saying. Sometimes we do have blind spots within ourselves and our relationships with people can shine a light on certain blind spots we might have. With that being said, use that as an opportunity to evolve into a wiser, more seasoned version of yourself, not as an opportunity to feel like you're lacking or to just feel inadequate. And trust yourself enough to know when someone is projecting feedback or when their feedback really is beneficial and insightful. You can always tell based on the delivery and the intention behind the delivery, okay? Unfortunately, sometimes people are trying to get their own needs met. So that's why you gotta pay attention to when information about you is being presented to you. Okay. What I mean by getting their needs met, sometimes people are trying to win arguments. I believe it's called ad hominem. It's when somebody is not winning an argument anymore. The facts are presented and because they feel attacked and they have nothing else to go on, they'll start attacking you, your character, bringing up just random stuff that they never mentioned prior to the argument. Like all of a sudden, instead of addressing what's going on in that moment, they want to bring up something irrelevant that they never brought to your attention until this very moment because they're trying to move the goalpost here. Okay, they don't want it about them. Zero accountability, they want to focus on you. That's what I mean by pay attention to when information about you is being presented to you, because that is a tactic for distraction. That is a tactic to get in your mind. That is a tactic of manipulation. That is deflection. So I wouldn't necessarily trust somebody's criticisms of you when they are angry or upset, because in that moment, emotions are heightened. And they're viewing you through a very skewed lens. It's all about emotion in those moments. So if somebody is in the moment and they're upset and they just start, like I said, ad hominem attacking you, then you gotta take that with a grain of salt. Save the conversation for another day because it's not productive anymore. Okay, so that was the first thing I wanted to clarify. Just be very careful when you're taking in information about you and not let certain information about you consume you and make you feel bad about yourself. You gotta take into consideration everything that's going on. I know in the moment it can be difficult, and especially if it's somebody that you really care about and you trust their judgment and you trust their opinion of you, so sometimes what they're saying can penetrate you, but you have to look at the whole picture here. What is your intention behind what you're saying? Do you need anything from me in this moment? Or is this genuine advice, genuine constructive criticism because you really are trying to be helpful, or are you trying to be hurtful? Which one is it? How are you delivering this message to me? What state of mind are you in right now? Like I said, this is not to avoid accountability. This is just to protect yourself, because sometimes things will be thrown at you, projected at you, that it's not yours to take on. So I just want you to be careful with taking on certain things that people may be saying to you, and it may not even be true. People can mean something right then and there and then try to take it back later. That's why it's very important to be careful with what you're saying to people, especially people that you love, because you cannot take certain things back. It's like, people may not remember what you say word for word, right? But they will always remember how you make them feel. If you're intentionally being hurtful with your words and reckless and thoughtless and careless, that's not just gonna be erased. Even if they're like, you know, emotions were heightened, whatever, I didn't mean that. It's like, yeah, you didn't mean it, but you're capable of spewing that type of energy in my direction. You've shown me that you have zero self-restraint. And now the ball is in the other person's court, whether they want to continue to tolerate that type of treatment moving forward whenever emotions are heightened. It's like, why take that risk when they don't have to? If you are always gonna let your emotions consume you and not take a step back before you say things, why should somebody tolerate that? Nobody is entitled to anybody else's time. Nobody is entitled to being in anybody else's life. Next thing I want to touch on is when I said, if you're having a bad day, sometimes that's not a great representation of who you are overall, okay? So I wanted to clarify that. Just because you're having a bad day, it really does not excuse you from accountability, because we've all heard that, right? Well, I was having a day, and it's like, yeah, everyone does. Keep that same energy, right? If you know that you give yourself grace when you're not having the best day and you're not your best self, then remember, nobody is different than you. Nobody is worse or better than you. Nobody's superior, nobody's inferior. So with that being said, other people are also not their best selves sometimes, and that doesn't mean that we get to define other people in absolutes. If you are able to gracefully excuse yourself for the way you treat people when you're having an off day, then that same grace should be extended to other people when they are having an off day. We don't have to take everything personally, and this is something that I am still working on every single day, because sometimes things really do feel personal. But I mean, to be honest with you, I'm at that point in my life where I'm actually tired of taking things personal. I'm like, you know what? I don't have the energy to do that anymore. I'm not going there taking things personally, because it's so emotionally consuming, and I'm at that point in my life where I'm like, why am I going to continuously let somebody else's behavior, which is on them, impact me and knock me out of balance? And now my nervous system is not regulated properly, and now my emotions are all over the place, all because of somebody else's behavior. I don't feel like doing that anymore. Like, I've done that forever, since I can remember, and it's like this knee-jerk response to life. It's tiring and it's exhausting. We cannot control other people, so I'm not even gonna do that. Like I said, I'm working on it every single day, but the reason why I'm working on it every single day is because I'm tired of it. I don't wanna live life like this. I don't wanna be so easily swayed by what everybody else is doing. Oh my God, I'm so offended. I don't wanna be offended no more. You got it, you got it, you did, all right, you got it, like, bye. I just can't. I can't be distracted from my own happiness for too long. I don't like that. I need to be focused on my happiness. We are here for a good time, not a long time. Life is literally a snapshot. So I'm not gonna be dwelling on things longer than I need to be dwelling on things, because I'm taking things personal. I've taken as much stuff personal as I could in my earlier life, in my 20s and my teen years. I'm not doing that anymore. Work in progress, but we're working on it every day because it's exhausting, okay? Let me finish this video before my camera dies on me, y'all. Okay, the reason why I said constantly blaming people is disempowering is because constantly blaming people for the emotional state that you're in for a long period of time, it does take away your power, because you do have the freedom to choose your emotional state. Obviously, after you process certain emotions, you do have to acknowledge them and then release them, but in any moment in time, you can think a thought that makes you feel better. The power to direct your thoughts in the direction you want them to go, that is very empowering, and nobody is forcing you to think whatever you're thinking about. A situation may have happened, yes. You probably did go through something, yes, you know? And this is me talking to myself, really. But you do have to realize that that moment is over there, back there, wherever that moment happened. We are right here, right now, in the present moment. So if we're constantly putting our attention, which is where all of our power is, if our attention is constantly over there, wherever that moment happened, we're bringing it here and we keep reliving it over and over, and the emotional state is as if it just happened. So one thing that I am actively working on every day is just staying in the present moment where my feet are. I've been more intentional about when my mind has idle time, instead of focusing on something that can potentially trigger those emotions from that situation that I'm upset about, what I've actively been working on is remembering something that I'm happy about, thinking of a funny memory, thinking of something that happened that made me feel proud of myself. Like, I'm using my mind in that direction, because if my power is right here, right now, and I'm thinking about something that makes me happy or makes me laugh, that power is here right now. When we're constantly blaming somebody, we're in that space where it just feels like life is happening to me. I have no control over X, Y, and Z. And what I'm saying is, once you go through the motions and once you talk about it and vent about it enough and feel the emotions and feel your feelings and really acknowledge and hold space for yourself, and then you're able to release it, then use your idle time to think of those moments that make you happier. And that's where your power is. Remember things that bring you joy. That's where your power is. Think about something exciting in the future coming up. That's where your power is. This is what I mean by we do have more power than we may even realize, because even though that doesn't really feel like it's doing much, your emotional state is extremely powerful. And most of the time, our emotional state is affected by whatever we're thinking about in the moment. Just observe yourself, right? If you're thinking about something that's pissing you off, the energy that you're magnifying is energy that's like, oh, I'm pissed off right now. So that's what you're putting out. And then because you're a magnet, you're gonna get back things that possibly piss you off more. But if you're thinking about things that are bringing you joy and you're remembering memories that make you laugh, or you're just like reliving these wonderful moments you had in this very moment, you are magnifying that. You're magnetic. So if you're thinking about that and your emotions are joyful, that's what's gonna come back to you, babe. So just be very aware of what you're thinking about, because nobody is forcing you to think about anything. It does take time, it does take patience. This is not like, oh, boom, it's working. No, it's a muscle. Like anything else, you have to build this muscle, you have to work at this. It takes discipline, it takes intention, but you can do it, because I'm actively working on this every day. And that is all for tonight. I'm about to go hit the hay, but thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you always for hanging out with me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And please, if you have not already, give this video a thumbs up. And if you gave this video a thumbs up and you are not yet subscribed and you really enjoyed today's topic, please go ahead and subscribe, become a part of the community. We are growing. I am so excited. I started this channel June 3rd. We're already almost at 30 subscribers. So thank you to everybody who has taken the time to watch these videos and hang out. If anything I said resonated, please leave a comment, and I will see you in the next video.